What is up, my dudes? How is it going? Welcome back to more Trinoline. Let's jump in this bitch. We had gotten into such a deep conversation with Yuri that the veil of night was already falling upon us. Oni-chan. If Sharon-san had grown up, what sort of person do you think she would have married? Coffee. Would it have been someone like you? Hard to say, although I don't think they'd need to be anything like me. She would have married Coffee, boys, and we all knew it. Everybody marries Coffee. Had Sharon survived, I would have gotten to see what sort of adult she would eventually turn into. Do you suppose androids can get married? I mean, I guess. Some dude married his sex doll, so I mean, yeah. All I could do was to give her an ambiguous smile. Just like Sharon-san. I might want to marry you someday, too. Excuse me, Chief. Back up with the Alabama here, alright? Oh, but I am your sister, so that may not be possible. No shit, Alabama. Sharon joked before I had a chance to reply. If that were the case, then it would make me happy if you married Sarah-chan instead. Then Sarah-chan would become my big sister. I had heard that line somewhere before. But if you were to do that, what would happen to Yuri-chan? Will you marry her as well? Are we, no, I'm not gonna make that joke. That isn't really an option in this country, as you'd probably expect. Wait, marrying either of them is never going to happen. Yeah, okay. I cannot think of anyone else who would likely take care of you, Oni-chan. Do you really see me as that big of a disappointment, Sharon? I mean, maybe. I read in a book once that marriage is the tomb of life. What does that mean? Something neither you nor I need to learn anytime soon, I'm sure. I was hesitant to tell her that androids couldn't get married. I mean, they can. Sharon should have already been aware, but the fact she deliberately brought up the subject likely meant she was interested in the idea. Like I said, dude, some dude married his sex doll. Was it the contradiction of possessing the heart of a human, yet being inhuman, that caused Sharon to become her own separate entity from Sharon? If that were true, maybe I ought to treat her like Sharon as well. Ah. Look over there, those birds are flying away. The pair of birds sailed in the distance, nestling together in the sky. It was then that I realized I hadn't yet given any thought whatsoever to Sharon's future. I see that the white screens continue. I appreciate it. Shout out to white screens. Oni-chan, please wake up. I could feel my body being rocked, albeit gently. With each sway, I slowly reached consciousness. Morning, Sharon. Yes, good morning. Today is another beautiful day, and the weather is perfect. If you do not get up soon, your breakfast will get cold. You gotta get that breakfast, bro. You gotta get that bread. or is it toast? Toast? Gotta get that toast? I put as much, no, even more effort than usual into making it for you. After weighing my options between staying in bed or eating her delicious breakfast, my mental scale favored one over the other. Is it staying in bed? Well, I guess I have to get up. Okay, I am sure something great will happen today. Sharon trotted off back in their living room. I still wasn't quite used to this lifestyle just yet, but the one thing I could say for certain was that I liked when Sharon woke me up every day. and made breakfast. Some toast, some bread. Lunch break. Yuri had made it to school today and looked like she was back to her usual self. As long as she ain't having strokes, we're good. Thanks for yesterday. I'm glad you're feeling better, Yuri-chan. Yes? Thanks for coming to check up on me too, Sarah. Huh? Sean and I looked over at Sarah with surprise. I'm going to murder you, Yuri. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened. What does it matter? It's not like you did anything wrong. Sarah skipped school to go to work, but still made time to visit Yuri. Her grumpiness only made me smile all the more. Sarah came to visit me after you two went home. She even brought some black tea with her. Not the prepackaged kind, but the high-class stuff you make with tea leaves. Does that stuff actually exist? I'm sure it does. Like, that's pretty interesting. Like, straight up be Uncle Iroh over here, like, making your own tea and shit. I mean, you can make your own coffee, so, you know, like the grounds and shit. So I think, that probably does exist. I'm kind of curious. I'll probably look it up later. But then she's like, I don't know how to brew it. She doesn't have inner Iroh. I can't help it. I always have androids prepare my tea. Fucking millennial, dude. Then she asked me with a serious look, don't you have a maid bot? Of course I don't. I died laughing. No matter how prolific androids were on this island, they were still way too pricey to find in the average household. Anyway, my mom ended up making it for us. And wasn't it good? Tastes like shit. Yeah, I appreciate it. Come on though, there's no way you can live on your own like that. I've been on my own ever since I met you, Yuri. Oh, you're right. Oh, you right? I couldn't help but laugh at how dejected Yuri looked. Instead of her parents, Sarah had been raised by androids. You could call that living alone. Raised by robots. Is it like the new Tarzan? Instead of gorillas, you're raised by androids and robots and shit. You act like a robot. You think you're a robot. Whatever, you rely on robots for everything way too much, Sarah. True. If you're going to say that, then that means Shun relies on Sharon to do everything too. I mean, kinda. I make us meals every morning, afternoon, and evening. Thanks, side. Isn't that all of them? You're pretty old-fashioned, Shun, forcing a woman to make all of your meals for you. Damn, feminist. It was a hard pass, boys. Not at all. I am more of an android than a woman. Besides, any sister would be happy to have her big brother eat her homemade cooking. Whoa, I want a Sharon at my place too. I think it's called a maid. I'd love to have an attentive little sister who treats me to a fancy home-cooked meal. It's not like you're incapable of cooking either, Yuri. That face. That doesn't mean I'm good at it. True. Yuri's cooking abilities definitely left something to be desired. Rap God. Shun, you're not the type of guy who forces his wife to prepare all of his meals for him, are you? Force? That's a loose term. That would be rather scummy of you. Sarah's words cut deep. I'm sensing some strong feminist energy from these two. Is that wrong? Any man who thinks that way should be considered a fossil in the modern era. As far as I'm concerned, they can rot in the depths of the earth forever. I mean, I don't think anybody forces their wife to make food for them. I think that's just what their wife does. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, Chief. What is this? 1940? Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I'd like it if a man cooked for me on occasion, too. Women enjoy eating a homemade meal just as much as men do. I'd obviously be happy if he ate what I made for him, but I do believe having your partner cook for you is a good thing, no matter how badly it comes out. Really, I think whoever's the better cook in the relationship should do the cooking. Fucking same, Sarah. Everyone has their own role to play. That statement makes it sound like you're totally ignoring the tone of the conversation. True. And she's the one that brought it up. That isn't true. All I'm trying to say is, if someone can't cook, you shouldn't ask them to. Bruh. You don't win either way. You lose both ways. There's no win either way. Like, come on. That's nothing but harassment. I wasn't sure how I should respond to that. That's right. Don't you tear up when you cut onions, Sharon? Tear up. She just out there with a machine gun every time she cuts onions. Tearing up. I never have. I'm jealous. I'm the type who needs to wear swim goggles. It was hard for me to tell whether Yuri's comment was true or not. It probably is. Regardless, we spent our lunch break like any other. As I made my way toward our usual meeting spot, the school gate, I happened to run into Sharon. These things happen once in a while. Then also, by happenstance, we spotted Hanako-senpai at the end of the hall. God, I'm sorry. I don't know why my voice dies every time I try to record. Shit. Okay, here we go. Hanako-senpai, good afternoon. Sharon, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Sharon, good afternoon. Jolly good greeting. Sorry, I guess Trump's trying to come out here. And Shun. Afternoon. You're way too quiet. Well, no matter. By the way, Shun, I heard you and Sharon are living together now. How did you know that? True. Nothing slips past the Public Morals Committee chairwoman. Who the heck did Hanako-senpai think she was? Fucking savage. A young man and woman living alone together under one roof. This relationship reeks of sexual deviancy. What do you have to say for yourself, Shun? What are you talking about? Shun and I are siblings. Besides, she's an android. That makes sense. I trust you, Shun. Yeah, why you gotta be a weirdo and ruin everything? Take care of yourself, Sharon. He may be your brother, but he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. What the fuck is wrong with these people? Our adorable Little Red Riding Hood will get eaten alive. What the fuck is wrong with these people? Then again, everything should be alright as long as Miss Nunemy's around. Ah. Sharon's expression turned a bit lonely. What's the matter? Hanako-senpai, what did you have for breakfast this morning? That's a rather abrupt and forced question. My attempt to change the subject backfired and put her on guard. Oh well, not a big deal. To be frank, I've heard that there are defensive moves to stave off a brother's desires for his sister, so I doubt you have anything to worry about, Sharon. The fuck is wrong with these people? That sounds very robotic-like. Like straight up sweet home Alabama shit going on. Righto. Do you think the opposite could happen? Oh, what the fuck? What do you mean? Like a sister going after her brother, for example. What are you doing, stepbro? I wonder. I have never considered that before. Sean is a good for nothing, so I doubt that would ever happen. What are you talking about? Like, that's been what I'm saying for the past, like, 2 minutes. I was sweating from the rather outrageous comments Hanako-senpai was spewing. If you get to the point where you can't hold back, then you'll need to rely on your womanly modesty. The method I told you about before doesn't require any outside assistance, so you should be completely safe. What on earth are you teaching her, Hanako-senpai? For real? You gotta keep it a secret. No boys allowed. Understood. I didn't have the foggiest idea of what was going on. Same. But, knowing Sharon, she would likely follow through out of sheer curiosity. Oops, we've been yakking a while. God, the echo over here is horrible. I mean, I know it's not really messing up the recording because I've heard the recordings, but still, good lord. I'm just hearing it bounce off the walls into my fucking ear, and it just sounds like shit to me. But that's just me. Anyways. Okay, see you tomorrow. Yes, goodbye. Doesn't help that I'm in a corner. I must punish those devious hoodlums today, and then again tomorrow. Hanako-senpai skipped away while singing a strange song to herself. So Progressive sends me an email and says, "We don't normally send these emails, but thank you for thank you for using us. From 40,000 of us, we appreciate your service." I'm like, okay, thanks, I guess. Hanako-senpai is incredible. I know most of you don't really give a shit, but I'm gonna tell you anyways because it's my fucking recording. So she taught me all sorts of things today. Right. Including some things I wish she hadn't, I'm sure. Keeping up this conversation with Sharon any longer would have been extremely awkward. Awkward. I stopped as we reached the fork in the road. Is this... okay. Oh, that reminds me. There's somewhere I'd like to go. You go on ahead without me. I'll be home shortly. Yes. In a rare turn, she mumbled and didn't answer right away. Is something wrong, Sharon? No, I was just thinking about how I would hate for us to be apart. Does that mean you're unhappy with me then? The fuck? That is not it. Wow, 2 ellipses in a row. Sharon looked down awkwardly. Deep down, she seemed to know exactly where I wanted to go. I am sorry for keeping you. I will go home by myself. Sorry about this. No, not at all. I'll be waiting. I'll be leaving now. Take care. Yes? After watching Sharon walk away, I headed toward the RRC. I had forgotten something at home and wanted to stop in to pick it up. While I was at it, I wanted to check on how Mom was doing, now that she had been discharged from the hospital. If I had mentioned any of this to Sharon, she would have asked to come with me. I didn't want to see that lonely look on her face any longer than I had to. Hell yeah, brother. Mom seemed to be doing well. Of course, she may have just been faking it. Either way, it gave me peace of mind for the time being, and I returned to the home where Sharon was waiting. I'm home! Ah. Was she in the living room? I thought I could hear her voice coming from somewhere close by. Just as I was about to open the door, I heard something I couldn't believe. I'm gonna see what that is next episode, boys. Thank you for watching. Peace. Or in the words of BHD, Twizzums.